Green light, they're away.
And they're all in their positions, ready to go. There's the light up.
In true Mildura style.
The green light's on. It was a beautiful start.
He's trying to get across.
Hello, welcome to Burning Questions. I'm going to try my absolute best to get through this. August 8, we're going to have a look at the racing at Melton on Saturday, August 9. James Herbertson was going to be joining us, but he's had a little problem with a horse, so we're going to have to press on without him. But we've got two stars to help us preview the card, Darren Carroll and Andy Gath. I'll come to you first, Daz. We don't find you in Melbourne today. I think you're spending a bit of time up in Menangatang. Is that right?
Yeah, still in sunny Menangatang for another back to Melbourne next week. So, yep, lovely surrounds of Menangatang.
Good stuff. And Andy Gath joins us. Have you got a regular spot you park, Andy, or is there someone in the neighbourhood that you must pull up in front of their house every Friday and they think, what the hell is this bloke doing?
No, it's just random every time. Just depends what I'm doing. And generally come and get some lunch. So depends what I eat, I suppose. So yeah, just the Woodgrove Shopping Centre.
What's on the menu today?
I had Peking duck actually.
Oh wow!
Gee, this bloke. I reckon he's battling trainer. Peking duck for lunch on a Friday. Righto. Yeah. Righto. Let's get stuck right into it. As I said, I'll try and get through, and I'll try and keep my comments to a minimum so these boys can help us find some winners. APG's National Mix Sale is back again and coming to you twice in 2025, with the online auctions taking place in May and August and featuring weanlings, yearlings, stallions and broodmares. These two sales really do have a horse for everyone. Find all the details at apgold.com.au. Jimmy, in brackets, Better Eclipse, hasn't won since he was on the grass. But does he get this done simply on class? We're looking at race 2, the Mimosa Homes Free-for-All. When I wrote this question, I didn't realise Yambuckian was also Jimmy. So Better Eclipse and Yambuckian, both Jimmy. James Ferguson does team up with Better Eclipse for Jess Tubbs, barrier 5. Hasn't won for a while, but runs into a pretty hot field here. He is the favourite. He comes up against Yambuckian, who is in great form. Andy, we'll come to you first here. This bloke, I guess you're not scratching your head, but you're just marvelling at how well he's going. He's just in great form, your bloke.
Yeah, no, he's going terrific. And last season, as I said, he ran plenty of great races last season, but couldn't sort of win any in Victoria. The only race he won was over when he won the Gawler Cup. But he's really stepped up this season. And we all know it doesn't matter what he's drawn, doesn't matter what distance it's over. He can sort of make his own luck. And he won 5 in a row. Probably his defeat last week was probably his best run this preparation. So no, he's in great order, but every race is a challenge. There's all good horses. They all get to this class for a reason, and he's been down another bad barrier. But I still think he's the horse to beat because you know what you're going to get from him week in, week out.
How do you see the speed map, Andy? I know you're probably happy just to sit in the death seat and control the race, but is there a chance the front might be there for you? And I mean, I'm not sure if I've ever asked if you might actually knock back the front if it was there. You're just happy to sit in the breeze. He goes that well in that spot. How do you see the speed map for Yambuckian?
Yeah, he's got pretty good gate speed, but I don't think we'll blast out. I just think, he'll just work forward. Again, we're comfortable sitting in death with him. There's a little bit of speed there. There's a few horses that can leave the arm pretty quick, and they might be looking to find the fence and possibly hand up to him. We just sort of knock out either way, but I don't think we'll be blasting out the gate anyway. I think we'll just work forward and whatever eventuates. If he gets given the lead, so be it. If he's got to send the death, we'll copy it as well. But getting back to Better Eclipse, I thought he performed great. Really good in Queensland. I think the signs are there. He's getting back to his best form, so he's definitely the one to beat. And could be a scenario too that if we are in the death, he could be sitting on our back. So he's going to be a major danger.
Yeah. One more before I go to you, Darren. I remember talking to you about Yambuckian maybe 6 months or a year ago, Andy, and it felt like every time we spoke was, if he can get on the fence, he's a chance, and if he can't get on the fence, he's no chance. That's completely the opposite now. He can make his own luck. Is there any, can you put your finger on it at all? Is it just him maturing into a better, stronger horse?
Yeah, he's always been quite a big horse and big-bodied horse, and generally those horses, I think they just find time to find strength, and he's sort of horse that went through the classes pretty quick, and sometimes you can find your mark a little bit. Yeah, he probably just, had 12 months of seasoning up as well, which has really sort of helped him, held him in good stead this season. So, we'll just keep, enjoying the ride with him. He's owned down at Port Fret, right? He's actually owned at Yambuk by Robert Sinnott, who, was a good friend of Richard Matthews. So, he's enjoying the ride, and still the Matthews family, even though they don't own him anymore, they're still happy to see him going so well. So, hopefully, he's still in this form when the races like the Victoria Cup and that come around.
Yeah, for sure. We'll come to you, Daz. We were just on the Friday form panel a short time ago. I think in our $900 game plans, we're both having a little bet on Yambucky in at the price, $4.20 with sports bet. That looks okay, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, I was really impressed yet again with his run last week. I pretty much agree with Andy's sentiment. It's amazing you can win 5 in a row, and then your next start, you're probably your best run out of 6 of them, and you get beaten. I thought he's outstanding last week, and it took a sit sprint mare who had a lovely run to beat her. But in saying that, typical of these free-for-all races, every week's intriguing with different combinations, different barrier draws. You got horses like Triple Eight, Better Eclipse. You just can't discount those horses. They're just unbelievable at this ranking. Oliver Dan, he was okay in defeat. He went the 26.5 down the back. It probably brought him undone a little bit, but also helped the one behind the leader. But I've got Yambucky on top. Pretty much exactly what Andy said. We know what we're going to get. He's going to be up on speed. But I'm not saying he's a moral or anything like that, because there's some really good late closes.
Yeah, he's sort of backable though, isn't he, Daz? 420. I thought he was.
Yeah.
He could have been a touch shorter, and he might be a touch shorter come race time.
Well, yeah, I rated him in my markets $2.50. So that's how.
Yeah, good stuff. That is race number 2 at 2 minutes past 6 tomorrow night. Pride's Easy Feed stand as a proud supporter of the harness racing industry with their set recipes and quality ingredients to give the trainer confidence in what they're feeding. So make the switch to Pride's and start getting the result you've been chasing. Lady Vici must contend with barrier 8, so can she overcome this tricky gate? Race 3 on the card, the Lifestyle Communities Woodley Trot. Lady Vici, she's got a picket fence for Joe Vassallo and James Herbertson. Andy Gath's got 2 runners in Timmy Turtle, first up from a break, and also Miss Yo, third up from a break, but a couple of sort of no-guide runs. I'll come straight back to you, Andy. Maybe a comment on Lady Vici, and then maybe give us an insight into your 2 runners, Timmy Turtle and Miss Yo.
Yeah, obviously she's got a record of a really good horse, Lady Vici. She's obviously had a few issues that kept away from the racetrack, but she was amazing first up to run past my horse Alrighty, who probably had her on the turn, but she really knuckled down, and it was a great win by her. You think she'll be improved by that run? The trainer's done the right thing by having a fortnight between first up run and this run, I'd reckon. So even though it's an awkward draw, I think Herbie, good enough driver obviously to overcome it. My 2 horses, Timmy Turtle first up. He probably has to find the fence to be a each way hope. If that doesn't eventuate, he probably, finish down the field a little bit. He probably needed the run. And Miss Yo, obviously, she hasn't competed in her 2 starts with her, but her 2 trials to get her back in this race have been really good. She broke 2 minutes at Geelong over the middle distance, which is not easy to do. So if you're taking trifectas or early quaddies, just chuck her in, because she's got plenty of ability, and hopefully she can do things right this week.
Does she work like a good horse at home, Andy? Can you get a guide on her? Does she work up, with some of the nicer ones at home?
All the nicer ones are gone, Tox.
What about Imperial Command?
Oh, no, she works at a really nice level. She's a little bit hot and cold. She can be a bit highly strung at times and pull really hard, and sometimes she'll be a little bit too relaxed. And but there's no doubting she's shown in the last 2 trials that she deserves. She's a Metro class trotter, and might not be this week, but I'm sure she's going to win one soon in town.
Yeah, good stuff. Big ownership group in Miss Yo, including Darren Carroll. Daz, how do you see this race? Lady Vici $1.80, Kai Valley Maven $2.60, and then More Wanted $8.50. That's a look at the market. Have you got a preference over the 2 key fancies, Lady Vici or Kai Valley Maven?
Yeah, well, Lady Vici last started against Alrighty. I was on Alrighty last time, and I just thought Kate could not have done anything more to beat that horse on that occasion. And Kate's drive was 10 out of 10, but Lady Vici, 15-month break, and just kept coming. And I thought we had it on toast on the corner. So lovely, lovely mare. Think so much potential. But, it's big raps on Maven. The lead camp, when they had it for a little while, had a huge opinion of it. I know Snooze has got a big opinion of it as well. He did say on radio today, talk that it had a cold, so that's why it was scratched last start. So probably not at 100% fitness for this race. So any chink in the armour would certainly help Lady Vici, and I just think she's clearly the one to beat. like Andy, really impressed with Miss Yo's trials, and she does everything right. Then definitely put her in somewhere in your bets for the race. But I've got Miss Lady Vici on top.
Yeah, no, good summary. I'm with Lady Vici as well, ahead of Kai Valley Maven. Going to be a good race. That is race 3 on the card. The Lifestyle Communities Woodley Trot at 6:37 p.m. Let's move on to our third question. Logical Staffing Solutions provide labour hire and recruitment services to the transport, warehousing, automotive and manufacturing industries. A logical solution for your staffing needs. Mufasa has the second row, but is he the one the punters should go? Mufasa Metro, sole back row runner, race number 4, the APG Trot, takes on some handy ones, including the favourite Imperial Monarch at 240 and Kiang Stuka at 260. Mufasa Metro at 330. Ever Justice takes the drive there. I'll come to you here, Andy. No runner here in this trotting event, but you know plenty about these horses. Look, I found it really tough to split the top 3 in the market, to be honest. But Mufasa Metro, I thought was a really good run last time out, chasing home I'm Bobby.
Yeah, obviously, we know he's been out of form a little bit of late, but it was good signs last start. It's a huge drop down class for him. He's a 115 rater, but most of his career he's probably been 120 rater. None of these other horses are rated over 100. So yeah, I think he's definitely a winning hope. It's been a long time since he's been in a field of this type, but some of these horses are up and coming too, so they might be 120 raters in time as well. So yeah, probably won most of his races in front or up close on the speed. So it's going to be a scenario that he's probably not used to, but yeah, it's a tricky little race. The lead runners are always, they're going really well. They've got 2 wide draws. Yeah, it's probably a race I don't have a high opinion on, but yeah, but he can definitely win Mufasa Metro with the drop down in class.
Yeah, I didn't really have a firm opinion either. I've already jumbled my numbers around a couple of times, Daz. While Andy and I don't, really want to spend our money, I think you were keen enough on one of these.
Yeah, I like Kiang Stuka. I'm trying to read the race. If I get the race right, then hopefully I'll get the result right. But over the 17:20, it's tricky to say that Kiang Stuka's got the barrier advantage in gate 6, but he's drawn gate 6, Imperial Monarch 7, then Mufasa Metro inside the back row. I just felt all those inside, Kiang Stuka would be happy to take a sit, and I mapped him fine in the front. And if that's the case over 17:20, it's going to be awfully hard to beat. I just loved his run first up. His last 100 to 150 was really strong. It had a run of a horse that needed that run or that outing. It was off the back of an OK trial before that. Let's not forget that he ran third in Inter Dominion to the Locomotive before he had the break. So he's a nice horse. I know he's come a long way very quickly, but yeah, I'm purely banking on the map. If I got the map right, then I think I can get the result right. So I was keen on Stuka, but huge respect for Imperial Monarch and Mufasa Metro.
Yeah, no, good look at that race there. Just texting Paddy Lee just a little bit this morning. I sort of said 6 or 7. Which one are you leaning to? And he said the 7, the Imperial Monarch. But he did say the mile would suit Stuka. I don't feel like there's much between them. I think you're right though, Daz. I think the map probably leans towards Stuka. I'm just going to go with Imperial Monarch, at least at this point in time. I could change my mind come race time. Yeah, look, not a lot between these. So I can all win with the right run. So that's race 4 at 7:09 p.m., the APG Trot. Let's look at our fourth and final question. Some American has been a bit below par, but third up from a break. Can he raise the bar? In the opening event, 5:30 p.m., the Hertz Melton Pace, Some American, trained by Emma Stewart, to be driven by Ryan Sanderson. As I said, third up from a break after a couple of 4th placings. Having a look at the market here, thanks to Sportsbet, Some American at 320, the favourite operative line, the 3 at 220. And the only other runner in single figures is the one, a lot like Louis. Over to you here, Andy. No runners for you in the opener, but you'll know plenty about Some American. Kate drove this horse right the way through his early part of his career. I think she won a Breeders' Crown final on him. Thank God, getting home after a heap of second placings. To my eye, though, he's not at his best.
No, his last few runs have probably been a bit below par. And even though he done a bit of work last week, I still thought he was below his best. Thought he should have finished a little bit closer. It's all going to be map dependent. If he finds the pegs, he's a winning hope. If he's off the pegs, I don't think he's got any chance to win, in my opinion, because I don't think he's going well enough. I think he's only won one of his last 15. So, but we do, the fact that Emma and Clayton backing him up a week later, probably after a subpar performance, they've probably ripped the work into him this week, and you can expect a peak performance from him. So, be watching the market and see what happens. But I couldn't back him, but I'm not sure who I'd back to beat him.
Yeah. I'll come to you here, Daz. We spoke about this race on radio fairly in depth. Would have loved to have had Herbie on here because he drives Operative Line. Look, in my mind, and remembering Jackie Barker a couple of starts ago, I remember interviewing her at the start, and she was really keen to try and hold the lead in a free-for-all race, and she tried her best and wasn't able to. I think Ghost of Time might have crossed. So, look, I think Operative Line has the speed to lead, and I would assume, down in class from that free-for-all, they'd want to try and go all the way. So that's the way I saw it. I didn't think the front was there for some American, and if that's the case, I don't want to back him at 320.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either, Toc. I wasn't convinced that Operative Line would hold the front, so probably tune into the pre-race 10 minutes before the first tomorrow night to get a real guide.
I should have enough cough lollies and that to get through the first, I reckon. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah. I'm like Andy. I think if some American has to sit parked, there's just too many opportunists in this race that, based on his previous form of his 2 starts, I don't think you can hold him off. But we know he's a big horse, big gross stallion now. Maybe he's getting fitter and taking time to get back to his best. But you've got to be disappointed with his last 2 runs. I was on him last week. I still thought he was entitled to win. And it was just more the way, and the type of horses that got past him up the straight. So, for instance, if Operative Line led and a lot like Louis was sitting on its back and some Americans having to do work, then you got a lot like Louis off the sprint. Then you got horses like Roadmaster, and Louis Luai is just massive odds, in my opinion. If they go too hard, he can get over the top of them. So I don't want to back some American, but it's going to be so map dependent.
Yeah, I think we did our game plan on radio, Daz. I was sort of having a win better, maybe 100 a win on Operative Line, and then 25 a win, 75 a place to Louis Luai, who I think's huge odds, going really well. And if there's enough tempo, he can win, can't he, for Chris Fanazio?
Absolutely. Yep, no doubt. I had him as my top pick, but I was just so unsure of the map that I was sitting out.
Okay, righto. That's a look at some of the feature or the main races on the card tomorrow night at Melton. Righto, Sharps Bakery best bets time, fellas. I'll start with Andy Gath, because I've got no idea what you're going to do with your best bet, Andy. What are you thinking here?
I'll stick with Jan Buckian. So probably a safe way to go. That's it. So again, I think he's over the odds in my opinion. So anything over $4 is overs. Probably anything over $3.50 is overs. So I'll stick with my mate Jimmy.
Good stuff. Yes, Jimmy Yambuckian. Race 2, number 7 for Andy Gath. Daz,
hey, bundle. You get a bundle bet if you say I'm on Jimmy, and then you get
that's right.
Better Buckian.
That's right. Yeah, the bundle bet with the 2 favourites. Are we going to go the same horse here, Daz? I think we might.
So. I think so. Yeah. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
You go.
I'm really keen on Apollo Storm. I know my brother Brett was keen on Always Blakey during the week, and I know Always Blakey's got a good draw and things like that. But Apollo Storm, and I don't like referencing trial 6 weeks ago, but trial at Terang about 6 weeks ago, he beat Go Mickey in the highlight reel, getting home in 55, and he did it on the bit. And he come out, and I know he beat, just a real low-grade race at Geelong, but he won by 20. He just looks like a really, really nice horse, and I think he'll go around, sit parked, and you'll see a good one tomorrow night.
Yeah, I agree. So, that is race 5, number 10, Apollo Storm.
Yeah,
currently 220.
Even money. Yeah, was it 220? Is it 220?
You think it'll start shorter, won't it? Come race time.
Yeah, I had him clear odds on, so I was surprised I could get on.
Me too. I'm going to go race 5, number 10, Apollo Storm as well. I'll tell you what, I might go the Tom Hogan hamburger with the lot. I'm going to back Apollo Storm and lay Always Be Blakey. I haven't got him in my top 4, Always Be Blakey. I know he's drawn well, but I didn't sort of factor him in. He can win with the right run, but yeah, certainly one of the outside chances for me. So, Darren, we're seeing it quite similar. Hey, boys, thanks for getting me through this last half an hour. I put the mute button on a couple of times, and I only had, I think, 2 or 3 sips of coffee, Andy. So I've done all right here. Can you look up? Can I sub in? Can I sub you in tomorrow night? Maybe race 3 or 4 for the pre-race interview.
Yeah, all mine are in early, so that's it. Have you got a market, Daz, on top? Finishing the 9 races tomorrow night?
I don't think he'll get there for the first. I reckon he's about $1.30, especially after about 4 hours of radio tonight. So.
I know. I'm deteriorating. I don't know what are the remedies? Honey, butter menthols,
beer,
Scotch and Coke.
They say beer is good for you.
Yeah,
right, I might have a couple of them tonight.
Most people come back from Queensland that didn't get the flu when they are the ones that were the drinkers. So, I certainly come back with a good dose of it.
Yeah. Well, let's try and get through. Thanks, boys. That's been Burning Questions. I'll see you for the first of 9 tomorrow at Melton at 5:30 p.m.
Green light, they're away.
And they're all in their positions, ready to go. There's the light up.
In true Mildura style.
The green light's on. It was a beautiful start of.
He's trying to get